Welcome to Drawing and Dragons, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. That's kind of the normal here, isn't it? Today I'm going to be talking about a one-shot that I love to run called the Trynax Trials. If you're one of my players, you might have heard of this already before, or experienced it, and so if you don't want anything like ruined or spoiled, maybe don't watch this video. The Trynax Trial is a one-shot that I experienced when I was a player, actually. So, disclosure, this is not necessarily my own idea. Like every good dungeon master, I am an absolute thief and I steal all my ideas and make something of it myself. Um, I was once a player in a one shot, and that one shot was a dungeon, and each room had a very unique challenge. If you have listened to the Adventure Zone, there's an arc where they basically are doing something very similar to this, where each room is a very different challenge, and it's really fun that way. There are plenty of other ways to do this. This is my way. So the Trynax Trial. You awaken inside of a small room, a stone room, torches on the walls, but no doors that seem to lead out. 3 doors lay in front of you, though. Each door has a symbol above it. One is a sword, one is a shield, and one is an arrow. The only other thing in the room is a podium, a wooden podium in the center, and sitting on that podium, under a glowing light, is a scroll with a red ribbon. What do you do? This is the Trynax trial. This is how I begin my trials. And so as I am doing this, I will be sort of drawing what might be a possible layout for your Trynax trial as a dungeon master when you are planning. So let me write Trynax trial right up here. The Trynax trial, though, is part game show, part mega dungeon, part choose your own challenges. That's sort of the big inspiration here, is that the players are choosing what challenges they want to encounter as they go, but they also kind of don't know what it is. And the whole time, there's a very insanely bored, insane wizard named Trynax who's watching and controlling all of it from behind the scenes. The first thing you need to know about the Trynax trial is it's meant to be a one shot. You can do this as a mini campaign or a full campaign. Hey, I don't know. Um, I usually construct it to be about 4 to 6 hours, depending on how many rooms I add. So it's kind of up to you. You could make it 2 hours if you want. That'd be kind of short, but there it is. Or you can make it again, like I said, a couple sessions worth. The Trynax trial is meant to be a challenge. It's meant to be like someone will probably die. If someone hasn't died, the players have done very well. So if someone dies midway or towards the end, especially towards the end, then that's kind of good. Um, anyway, the Trynax trial. So in this first room, like I said, there's a podium. There are 3 doors. Each door has a symbol above it. These symbols sort of indicate what might lie in the next room. Hi, Cake, my cat. He's a good boy. Each of these rooms might indicate what lies inside. So the sword room probably has some people to fight. The shield room has maybe more defensive enemies. Maybe they have a lot of armor or shields. And the arrow room has maybe some archers. The arrow room maybe has some archers that are going to fight them. Things like that. And the scroll in the center is how Trynax communicates with the players, because he is watching it. He's controlling everything. So that's something you do need to know, is that the Trynax trial is your ultimate time as a DM to just change everything, toss everything out there, let everything go. Don't follow the book, don't worry about all the rules, and just sort of make it your own. You can definitely still use the rules, right? Because that can help your players know what they can accomplish and what they can't accomplish and all that. But this is a moment where you can really be a dungeon master, where you are not writing a narrative and a story. You are just tossing challenges at your players, and you are controlling it because you are Trynax. But they touch this scroll because players always touch scrolls, and actually they can't proceed through a door unless they open the scroll. So it's kind of like they have to. But they obviously touch this scroll, and I usually have it be magic mouthed. That is a spell. I don't blame you if you don't know what it is, because honestly, who uses it? Magic mouth is a spell where you can put a little illusion magic in, and it basically talks when you do a trigger. Right? It says something. It's very much Harry Potter sounding, and so your players will touch it, and suddenly this voice says, "Welcome to the Trynax Trials! Ahead of you, you will fight many different challenges and dangers. To the winner goes the spoils. I wish you good luck." And then that's pretty much it. Um, Yeah, and you can add more to that. You can like give them more information at that point. But I really like to use a super cringy like wizard voice, like just something really crazy like that gnome sort of insane wizard sort of thing. The players really like it. If you need inspiration, just play Skyrim and go meet Cicero. That's who I base the voice on. Essentially, they've got these three rooms though, and each one sort of leads to a different thing. Your players will spend a decent amount of time debating. If you feel like they are spending too much time, that is when you say the wall behind you begins to crumble and opens into an open pit, and slowly, stone by stone, pieces of the stone floor begin to crumble into this pit. Now they really have to choose. The doors, when one opens, the others lock. So they can only choose one. You can have it where once they choose, that's it. You could say if they shut that door, the others unlock. So that way, do a perception check. I don't know. Sometimes they like to do that, like to give a perception check of like what might be in that next room. Anyway, I'm gonna be going very briefly over the construction of this. I'm not gonna try to go too in depth of this. But my first row of rooms is usually combat. So combat rooms, really simply, it's just going to be a group of enemies, and they need to fight them and kill them. They could potentially like put them to sleep or something. I don't know. It's up to you on how you want them to solve it. I usually just say they have to kill them. I don't know. This is meant to be an action to get things moving, get people like already in the groove. So that's my first room, right? And this can be fun combat. It can be like they're on a skinny bridge and there are archers all around, and they have to like use ranged weapons, or they have to help shield each other and make it to the other end. It could be that it is a bunch of skeletons. It could be that there are goblins. Anything you want. Okay, it's kind of up to you. The second room, I like to do sort of like a single combat. I'll do single C. So the single combat room, the idea here is that it's more combat, but it's not another full thing of combat where you have like a bunch of enemies. This time it's just like a few enemies, or maybe it's one enemy. Maybe it's a dueling arena. They enter in this sort of little coliseum, and something where it's a fight, it's more combat, but it's a little bit quicker because it's only like one enemy to take down. Because I there's a time management issue here. My next set of rooms, I like to do a puzzle, maybe a skill challenge as well. So puzzles usually can be pretty much anything. Let me give you some ideas. In the past, I've done a quiz room, the brain room, where it's like, oh, it's a quiz, and that can be players answering questions, and that can be kind of fun. It's very meta, but Trynax breaks all the rules. Or it could be something like their characters have to try to answer it about the world or something, or about different things like what is the element that hurts a troll. That's a very easy one, but I don't know, it could be kind of fun. Puzzles can be any other puzzle though. It could be a logic puzzle. It could be an actual puzzle, like they have to just do a puzzle. I don't know. This is another chance where you can use out of game implements, right? So you could actually have a puzzle at the table and be like, you have 1 minute to solve this thing, otherwise you will take damage, or every 10 seconds you take doing this you'll take damage or something. I don't know. It could be kind of fun to do something like that. This again is a very meta one shot. This is not meant to be like we are in the game. This is sort of a challenge for your players. Now at this point, if you look at the clock, look at the time, do you have a lot of it? If you still have a lot of time, toss another. If you have a lot of time, I'm talking like 2 hours, toss another combat at them. If you don't have as much, but you still have some, like maybe an hour and a half or so, you could toss a skill challenge. So I will write that down because I'm hoping that this group is moving through fast. So a skill challenge is maybe like a what calls it? A skill challenge is maybe like they need to climb up ropes up this cliff. Like they are suddenly at the bottom of this cliff and they can see a door. The silhouette of door is up at the top, but in order to get up there, they have to climb up this rope that's attached. But as they climb, there's like three ropes or something, and then all of a sudden there are little holes, and kobolds are in there jabbing them with pointy sticks as they climb. Maybe it is that they're in a giant forest all of a sudden. Like they open up this door and it's like this indoor forest, and they have to find their way to the other end, and there are like wisdom saving throws because there are like things in there trying to convince them to stay in the forest forever, man. But I don't know, it could be kind of fun to mix things up a little bit. Skill challenges are usually ones where I do have to plan them ahead of time, whereas the other rooms are kind of like In this room, you find zombies, right? I can kind of just toss those out real quick. Skill challenge is the one where I have to. Skills and puzzles are usually where most of my planning goes. Combat is super easy. I just think of fun enemies to fight or in fun situations. Then the final set of rooms is the boss room. Okay, the boss room is meant to be the final thing. Also, I know I'm not illustrating it here, but like this room could like lead to this room could lead to this room, and this room could lead to this room. That way, each room has two rooms in it. Boss room though, boss room is meant to be sort of the final thing. Ooh. It's usually one big enemy. If your players have not taken much damage, they've done really well. They still have a lot of their resources. Have an enemy with a big boss with some minions, right? So I'll give you three examples. I've done a Drake, and in this Drake's cavern, there are big holes, and that's where the Drake will tunnel through. So during the fight, the Drake will run into one hole, pop out this other one right behind your wizard, and leap on them, or it will breathe fire through this hole all of a sudden, like through the ceiling, and it's really fun. I've done a giant spider. I mean, like Aragog from Harry Potter. I mean, like Shelob from Lord of the Rings, like a big spider. And this big spider has webs all over, and they have to avoid the webs, and it shoots more webs at them and stuff. And maybe there's a bunch of little spiders that are just shooting webs at them, not even like trying to attack them. I don't know. Another favorite is a graveyard, and there's a big mausoleum, and as they're walking through, nothing's happening yet. They all know something's gonna happen, so you can play like really tense, spooky music, and suddenly the mausoleum door breaks open, and inside there is a big like ogre zombie or something, like something just really crazy, and then a bunch of like skeletons and zombies rise up, and that can be really fun for them to kind of do that sort of combat. Also lets your paladin and your cleric kind of have a moment to shine if they haven't already before. So after that, they finally enter the victory room, and they get their treasure, their rewards, their magic items, and then they see a door, and it leads up steps, and they can see sunlight, and they open up to just some random forest, and then the door, like the little grass door, covers behind them. To add an extra bonus, if you still have time, if you still have time for some reason, you just whiz through your plans real quick, and you decide not to add extra rooms and things, you can do a special challenge. I once had a group of 21 middle schoolers on a Saturday. It was a special event, and they were groups of 6 or 7 or so. So we had 3 parties. I had a special event for them. We did a Trynax Trial. There wasn't as much choice, but it was these challenges that they all did simultaneously. It was really fun because they're able to see how other groups are solving these challenges at the same time, and it was really fun. A couple of them died along the way, and it was really fun, emotional deaths. One group finally did win the last challenge, so they got to the challenge room, and it was this big coliseum, and they won, and there's a ton of NPCs, and all the other players that died or otherwise are in the seats in the stadium audience, and everybody's cheering, and Trynax is there, and he's like, "Oh, congratulations, you did it! You've done it! You've won! You have completed the Trynax trial!" And everybody's like, "Oh, this is so great!" And I start clapping, and then all the players start clapping, and then I say, "But there may only be one winner in the Trynax trial. Good luck!" And he snaps his fingers, and he disappears. All the treasure disappears. The magic items disappear. Now the crowd, instead of being this nice celebratory thing, they are now this like bloodthirsty audience that just want to see bloodshed and combat. And at that moment, my players, this poor girl, she was part of the winning group, and she was like, "What? We have to?" And she actually like in person looked at the other players, and she's like, "We have to fight each other?" And like it was just such a good moment. And so they fought each other to the death. It was very Hunger Games style. Like there was two that kind of teamed up at first, and then one of them died, and all this stuff. And it was really fun. Um, it was a very fun sort of ending. Again, it's a one shot. It's a game. This is the time where you can do things like this that normally don't fit in a D&D setting. Overall, though, that is the Trynax trial. The most important thing to keep in mind is that Trynax does not follow the rules. He is just a godlike wizard. He can basically do whatever he wants, meaning you can do whatever you want. If your players took, let's see, I'm looking at the map here, sorry. If they took this route so far and you really want them to do this room, right? Maybe that's their only option, or uh, maybe that's one of the options again, and it's like, oh, maybe we should try that room this time because it was way back at the start. It could be easier, and then it's like, no, it's not. It's just really fun. You can rearrange the rooms, do whatever you want. When I am planning a Trynax trial, I will draw this layout sometimes, and I will draw just symbols of which room is where. Otherwise, what I'll do is I will just simply make a list of rooms that I want to have, and then I will just randomly choose whichever one feels right. I'll make like 3 different puzzles, 3 different combats, 3 different single combats, 3 different skills, and 3 different bosses, and I will just roll a dice and say, okay, if it's a 1 or 2, I'm going to do this room. Thank you very much. I hope you like this idea. Feel free to steal it. That's what we dungeon masters do. We are thieves, absolute thieves. So steal it, use it, love it. It's the Trynax Trial. It can be a reoccurring thing that can be kind of fun. I usually, if the players succeed and we are running using their regular characters, I usually give them each like a magic item, usually in the form of a coin. And this coin, if they put it in their mouth, it melts and then fizzes and becomes a ball. And then in that ball is the item, and it magically expands. It's very much like the fantasy gachapon from the Adventure Zone. Definitely just stole it from there. Okay. Anyway, I hope you liked it. Please give me a like if you liked it. Give me a subscription if you like. I do similar things to this. And in the comments, let me know if you've done something like this before. I saw when I had commented about this on something else, a lot of people said, "Oh, I've done something similar, except it's a bored god," or I've done something else too, where it's this wizard who just wants to see bloodshed or something. I don't know. Or it's a lich. I don't know. So give me a like, give me a subscribe. Let me know also if you like this kind of style where it's mainly me talking about something, less drawing something, because I might make this kind of video in between my regular Drawing and Dragons videos. That's it though. Thank you very much for watching. This was Drawing and Dragons. I'm Alec, and see you next time.